Have I never played a man?
You've played men, but been there, done that.
Oh, yeah,
you
right,
are a really
right.
beautiful woman also. So be proud.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Be proud of yourself.
Yeah, I am. Thanks.
Can you believe our Halloween show is less than a week away? That was just a little tiny glimpse of Ryan from Halloween's Gone By.
Hey, Monday on the show, Queen Latifah is here.
And from the series Fresh Off the Boat, Randall Park will also be here.
And the Crafty Lumberjacks will be here with some DIY Halloween decorating tips. That is coming up on Monday.
Okay.
Now,
are y'all ready?
Y'all ready?
Yeah. Hollywood superstar. Now he's back on the big screen in the new comedy film, Dolemite Is My Name. Please welcome iconic comedian and actor, the one and only Eddie Murphy.
A native New Yorker.
Native New Yorker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Born in Brooklyn.
Yeah, born in Brooklyn.
On Long Island. And now a Hollywood movie star. For a few decades now. You were voted most popular in high school. You're one of the very few actors I know that were popular in high school.
Yep, most popular. Class of '79, Roosevelt High, Roosevelt, Long Island.
Did you entertain? Were you the kind of student that was doing comedy or wanting to entertain the other students when you were in class?
I was popular because of my sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't like the fly guy. I was very funny in high school.
But did the teachers appreciate that, or were they sort of skeptical about that?
They were laughing too. Everybody was laughing.
That's when you knew.
Yeah, I was funny. I was always funny.
Are there other, I mean, does that come from within your family? Do you have a historically funny family? Are there other funny relatives?
I have a very funny family.
Yeah.
Yes, no, really, my family has a great sense of humor. My uncles were funny, and we kind of grew up around it. The Murphy house has always been full of laughter.
Yeah, well, that's great. And you have 10 kids.
Yes, I have 10.
Are your children funny? Do you have funny kids?
Yes, the Murphy family has a great sense of humor.
Who's the most unfunny?
Is there one that you go?
Is there like one real serious one?
Yeah, is there a serious one?
Everybody's funny.
So you're also a grandfather now.
Yes, I have my first grandchild.
That's exciting.
Eddie, you look really good.
Yeah, so I have I think she's 5 months, a 5-month-old grandchild and a 10-month-old son.
Wait, okay, so your son is
Did you hear the audience?
Wait.
Yeah. That makes me a heck of a fella.
Your son is that your granddaughter's uncle? Wait, I'm trying to figure that out.
Don't even look at me.
My son is my granddaughter's uncle. Yeah.
You did that math fast. So have you come up with what you want to be called as granddad?
Oh, yeah.
Papa.
Papa.
Yeah, it's nice. Because granddad just didn't sound or feel right.
Yeah.
It needs to be, a little cozy.
Papa is nice.
I like it.
That's a nice one, yeah.
Yeah, how about Big Papa? That one seems more suited.
No, Papa. Just Papa will do.
Just
Papa will do.
So when you are not, we're going to talk about this this movie in a minute here, but when you're not working, what do you most love to do? How do you spend your time?
I like to just sit around and do nothing mostly. But if I'm doing something creative, I have a little studio at the house, and I write and I play and
play music, write music,
record stuff. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh, incredible it is.
Do you like it? Are you, because we have a lot of, Josh Groban was just on our show, and he was saying that he has a recording device that records him when he talks in his sleep or sings in his sleep.
Does he have to press start on it?
No, it just automatically records him, because sometimes, like, inspiration.
Just a song will come out?
Yeah, well, a song will come out.
Wow.
Does that happen to you?
In your sleep?
No, but that's what he's a musician, this guy.
Yeah, but
yeah, that's what he does for a living, so yeah.
Does comedy ever come out in the middle of the night?
Does magic, the magic
that'd be very funny, though, just wake up and blurt some joke. No, mostly what comes out in the night is snoring.
When you're doing nothing, like to do nothing, there's always something that we're doing when we're doing nothing. Do you binge watch anything when you're doing nothing that's something?
No, I like just regular mindless nothing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's the best to do nothing and just have you know,
and just
thinking about nothing, not have a schedule and just kind of sit on the couch and watch, you know, ridiculousness and YouTube stuff. I like to do that.
So you do? You watch the YouTube video?
And I watched the Little Women from LA, that show.
Oh, really?
And the Little Women from Atlanta, too.
Yeah.
All the Little Women show.
Kelly, when you do nothing, now you have something to watch.
But I watch other stuff, too, but I watch that show.
I know what she's doing this weekend.
We watch that show at the house.
We're going to take a quick break and come back with Eddie Murphy. More after this. He's hosting SNL for the first time in over 30 years. We'll talk about that.
Stay tuned on live for some great tips to help you with your holiday travel plans.
Alexa, ask Delta to fill dog bowl.
Ask Delta to fill coffee pot.
Hey, Google, fill 150 milliliters from faucet.
Fill 35 ounces from faucet.
Custom fill the things you use most with the exact amount of water you need. It's the smart faucet technology that does more, so you can too.
Thanks.
Voice IQ technology. See what Delta can do.
Grab the only tissue with coconut oil, aloe, and vitamin E. Nourish with Kleenex Soothing Lotion, the softest lotion tissue.
Patients want something that works faster for them. Why would somebody want to suffer if there's options that they don't need to? I think dentists will want to recommend Sensodyne Rapid Relief. It's clinically proven to work in 3 days, which means for patients that they get relief very fast.
At 4, exposing the top devious scams costing you big bucks.
I was petrified.
Who's the most at risk to being ripped off?
You got the $3,700 and then they wanted more. She said you're being scammed. 7 on your side with steps to protect yourself.
Always question.
Today at 4 on Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Sometimes darkness comes from unexpected places. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. The story continues on Broadway.
Frisky's World. Whoa, so many choices.
Look, extra gravy.
And little soups.
There's the shreds.
Yeah, Frisky's has it all.
I want it all. Can I have it all?
Feed their fantasy.
Friskies.
This is it. This is 26.2 miles of guts, grit, and determination. This is the world's most iconic race, the TCS New York City Marathon. It will move you.
That's a little too racy for me.
We're back with Eddie Murphy. So you are going to be back hosting, and you'll be on the SNL set.
Yes,
First time
I'm
back
going
on
to
the
go
set
back.
in over 30 years.
Saturday Night Live.
That's
I haven't been back there since I left many, many years ago. 35 years since I've been there.
Wow.
And then to go back and...
But that's going to be like a really triumphant return. I mean, you really made it. You were there. You were widely popular. You were so brilliant on that show. Then you leave. You have this entire, I mean, an incredible film career. And to return this way with like a big movie on your hands, it's got to feel good.
Well, I'll feel good on Sunday after the show. After it's a good show, because I want it more than anything to be a really, really, really funny show.
Right.
Will you be involved in the writing process?
You kind of get, when you host that show, you kind of go up there and you meet with the writers and you give them little ideas that you had. They got like a writing staff. You give them ideas and they kind of put it together.
Will you bring back some of the great characters that you used to play?
Yeah, I think I have to do Gumby.
Yeah.
And I have to do Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood. And I have to do Buckwheat. And I want to do Velvet Jones.
Oh my God.
Some people are like, who's Velvet Jones?
we think we'll like him.
That's the Velvet Jones character.
You know, it's so interesting because I think that that's a terrifying, like I would be so nervous. Do you think you will be nervous? Do you get stage fright because you've performed in such large live audiences?
No, I don't get stage fright.
You don't get stage
fright. I get
fright.
a little, what's the feeling? It's not fright. You get a little, you want it to be good. I get that feeling before you go out. Like, I hope this goes well.
You want to deliver.
Yeah,
I want people to be happy.
But I don't get scared, though.
Do you remember auditioning for SNL? Because a lot of people talk about like the process of it all. Do you remember what that was like?
Yeah, the first time I went, Saturday Night Live is actually the only thing I ever had to audition for. So
in your whole
that's my one audition. So I totally remember it.
Wait, are you kidding me? That's your only audition?
I was 18 when I auditioned for that show. So that was my only.
Well, they're generally terrifying auditions. Was that tough?
Well, it was. You go in there and it was one person. And he's just sitting there. The guy named Neil Levy. He was just sitting there and he says, "Make me laugh."
That was it?
Yeah.
And did you make him laugh? I mean,
I did all my little shtick. He just was looking at me and he said, "Thank you."
And he never practiced.
Nothing. I was like, well, I guess I didn't get it. And they called me back a couple of weeks later, and they said, "Come in, we want you to look." I said, "Oh, I must have got it." And I went in, it was two people, and they said, "Make us laugh."
Right.
I said, "Thank you." And I said, "Wow." Then 3 more weeks go by. Then it's 3 people. It's Mike Zanella, Liz Welsh, and Neil Levy. And they said, "Make us laugh." So I said, I did all.
Right.
And Mike Zanella did like this. That was a big laugh.
That was it.
Then they called me back and I had it.
And that was it.
Yeah.
So it was that third.
That was the big laugh.
Let me tell you something.
Sign them.
I'm going to tell you something that you probably already know. We can tell you with certain authority, auditioning sucks. So you really dodged
I know it sucks.
a lifetime of bullets.
Yeah,
really.
I've been on the other side of that because I produce some of my films. I know what a horrible experience it is for an actor to be subjected to.
And so do you feel like you're more merciful when it comes to actors who are auditioning for you?
I don't know if merciful is the word, but you want them, I'm rooting for them, you know.
Yeah.
I would much rather, them come in and just nail it. I want them to be right more than they do. I want you to come in and nail it so we can get it rolling.
Yeah.
So people are talking about and excited about the sequel to Coming to America, which has been... What can you reveal or tell us about it?
It's Everyone is Back.
Really?
Everyone is back.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Except Madge Sinclair, who passed away, so she's not back. But everybody else is back, basically. And we're about 90% finished, and it's funny and sweet, and I can't wait for y'all to see it. And Wesley Snipes is in it, and Leslie Jones, and Morgan Freeman, and Tracy Morgan, and all the original cast. And it's
and when is that scheduled to come out?
It's coming out next Christmas.
Okay.
I mean, we've really been waiting a long time.
A lifetime.
Yeah, it's really
a long time.
Yeah, we got a really clever way to connect the dots so people aren't watching and going, "Why did they make this movie?" We figured it's really, really funny and smart, and I can't wait for y'all to see it.
Good.
Oh, we can't wait.
Yeah.
We can't wait. When we return, we're going to talk to Eddie about why he's so proud of his new film, Dolemite is My Name. Stick around.
It's very funny.
You're incredible. It's very funny how you have an ability to just take over a character the way you do. And this is a real person.
Yeah, it's Rudy Ray Moore. For those of you who don't know who Rudy Ray Moore is, he was a comedian from the 70s who was hysterically funny. And I was trying to get this movie done 15 years ago, and we got it to come together, and I'm really proud of how it turned out.
But you actually pitched him the notion of doing the movie, didn't you, at one point?
Yes, I actually went to go see him and said, man, your movie would make a great life. And he was like, oh, man, let's go on tour together. He wanted to
heck with the movie.
Yeah, he didn't want to do a movie. I said, I haven't done stuff. I don't have an act. He said, you don't need no act, man. We just go out there and do what we do.
Okay.
But that didn't happen.
You know what? I would pay to see that, though. I would buy a ticket to that if you want to do one night of you.
Just coming up with
Just coming up off the cuff.
But he was incredibly persistent, wasn't he? I mean,
yeah, that's what his talent is. That's what makes his story such a great story, is that he had belief in himself, and that's the most important ingredient if you're trying to do anything in life, is to, you know, believe in yourself and to follow through. And they beat that out of you. Most things you try, and if it don't work, you go and try something else. But he was the dude that just stayed on it, and he wanted the world to know he existed, and he wanted the world to know he was funny. And he didn't have the stuff that usually when the show business dreamers have like an incredible talent or something. He's not an incredible talent, and he's not great looking, or his stuff is like super crude and lowbrow, but he believes in it.
So it was all self-belief.
All self-belief.
Really motivated him forward. And was he impressed that you were familiar with him?
No, because a bunch of people, he has like a cult following. I'm not the only one. Like the rappers like him because he used to do like this rhyming type thing on stage, his jokes. And he'd have a band playing, so the rappers are like, oh, that's hip hop because he's rhyming on beat and then telling it. So the rappers like him, and all the comedians, black comedians, we kind of grow up knowing about him, and so he has a cult following. So he wasn't surprised that I was a fan.
Wow.
And so what inspired you most about all of this many, many years ago that made you want to tell the story?
Well, I thought that, because like everybody else, I started watching this movie just because I thought he was funny. But when I got older and I started making movies, I started looking at him like wow, this guy was a guerrilla filmmaker. Like he would do these independent films basically because he wasn't with a studio. He would like pay out of his pocket, you know, and he would go out and get a crew together, and he'd finance his movies, he'd finance his records, he'd shoot on the street without permits. And I was like, this guy is a guerrilla filmmaker, and that's a great story how he got those movies made. And I still watch his movies. That's not a lot of stuff from the 70s that people still watch. I still watch his stuff. So
it's really interesting too, because the movie sort of takes you on this ride of the behind the scenes. It's like very meta. It's like the movie within the movie.
Yeah,
right?
and I like the movies about the misfits that try to make a movie. I was in a really funny movie called Bowfinger.
Yeah, right.
Like and I love what's the Ed Wood. I love
Ed Wood, right?
We actually got the writers from Ed Wood to write Dolemite because I love that movie so much.
Dolemite is my name.
Dolemite is my name.
Make sure you check it out. Inside theaters and on Netflix today. Eddie Murphy, great to see you, man.
Coming up next, we're gonna have holiday travel tips with the points guys. Stick around.
Well, it is time for some holiday travel. The season is here, which means we're approaching the busiest time to travel of the year. And here to help us nail down the perfect holiday destination is the points guy, Brian Kelly. Brian, good to see you.
I gotta tell you something. You are so good with your travel tips.
Thank you.
I've taken some of your advice about traveling and certain ways to get your bags off first and stuff like that. You are just
And of course, we both follow passenger shaming, so you know how to behave on the plane.
Passenger shaming is one of the greatest
trouble.
accounts of all time.
What are some of the popular destinations right now?
So at the Points Guy, we pulled millions of airfare. So there's 3 trending destinations in the U.S. They're not really that much of a shock. I'm more excited to talk about our international. But in the U.S., most people are shopping for Miami. And Miami these days is so much more than Miami Beach, right? Brickell City Center is really hopping, the design district. So there's a lot outside of just Miami Beach. Orlando's number 2. And, for all the Disney lovers. And then New York City is a huge destination for the holidays. There's something special about New York.
New York during the holiday season is so beautiful.
It really is.
You feel like you're in a Macaulay Culkin film.
Right before like the January.
What's the best way to travel downtown from uptown here? Any ideas? Because I need a daily.
Bad signal.
All right.
But one of the tips for New York, there's tons of hotels now in Queens that have opened up, and now Brooklyn's a big destination. So venture outside of Manhattan. That's my big tip for
international. What do you say?
All right, international. My number one tip, and there's a lot of cheap airfare these days, to Mexico City. So if you want culture, if you want food, it's the number one. It's one of the top. So the museums, and then with low airfare. So I highly recommend Mexico City. There's tons of ruins and really cool stuff to see there. In terms of Europe, Paris is, the top trending destination in Europe. And of course, if you can't quite afford to go to Europe, you can always just pop on over to Las Vegas, where you guys are going to be.
We're going to be in Paris very soon. Paris
Hotel.
Las Vegas.
And one of the top trending destinations, this is where I'm actually going this holiday season, is India. So Delta actually has a new nonstop to Mumbai starting in December. There's a couple other nonstops, but India, I mean, this isn't for your inexperienced traveler because it's all of the senses you experience in India, but there's so much amazing culture, and it actually is really romantic. Northern India and the Golden Triangle, and then also if you're a partier, Goa. Goa is the hot spot.
Gorgeous. I love that I was like, if I'm a partier. I hear it's really beautiful in Goa.
What about the Caribbean?
So if you don't want to, stuff yourself onto a tube for 15 hours, the Caribbean is, there's tons of deals right now. So Bahamas were hit by the storm, but most of the Bahamas are totally up for business, and I recommend going to destinations that have been hit by a disaster because
help the economy.
The small businesses,
Your pictures are so good. I can't look at you. I just want to look back at all the photos.
I know.
That's my personal
I try not to look, so I don't do
Bahamas, by just going there, you're helping small businesses, so highly recommend supporting.
I agree with you. So if you could splurge this holiday season, like money is no object, or like you could just pick your fantasy trip. What is your splurge fantasy trip?
I've actually never been to St. Bart's, and St. Bart's, the Eden Rock, it just underwent a 2-year renovation, and it's the hot spot. So I'm assuming you guys have been there, right?
I was only there once, and I had strep throat, so I truly, I have, and so did my daughter, and we have no recollection of ever.
There's great food. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you got a little spice of Europe.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we will talk more about how to use your points for this travel, too. Really good point. Let's hunker down on this because using our points from various places and various organizations, what is the best way to master and maximize using all of our points?
All right, so today's lesson in points is when you got airline miles, you should leverage their partner. So most of the major airlines are a member of an alliance of airlines. So for example, United Airlines is a part of Star Alliance. That's 26 carriers all around the world. And so, for example, if you want to go to Christmas markets in Germany, you can use your United miles to fly Lufthansa, which has great flights. And here's the weird thing. When you redeem on partners, it's usually a lot less miles than flying on, United itself.
Wow.
Which kind of makes no sense, but
that makes no sense, but I like it.
Just follow me here. And also with the partners, I just got back this Monday from South Africa. That's another amazing destination.
Wow.
So wait, you're going to India and you got back from South Africa.
I know, I'm the points guy.
You're doing everything right.
This is my job, technically.
I mean, it's...
Yeah, he's got to go. He's got to use his
best job ever.
But and then also, so here's the thing. So if you don't have enough United miles, but you have credit card points, you can also transfer your credit card points to certain airlines. So if you need to, top up and get some more United miles, Chase points on certain cards transfer to United.
You taught us that, and I was just saying, Mark has not paid for a flight home from Vancouver.
Oh, that's why he's coming home so much. Well, burn those points up, then he won't come home.
No, I'm just... but it's because of your recommendation.
Wait, so, like, for example, American Express, you have to call and ask them? Or
No,
how do
you can do
find
it online. You just go to their website. Different, credit card programs transfer to different partners. But for example, Delta, they've got, if you want to go to Air France, KLM, Delta also teams up with Virgin Atlantic. So even though Virgin Atlantic isn't in one of the major alliances, Delta bought just under half of them. So you can use your Delta miles to fly Virgin Atlantic.
Do you have to tell them? They don't do it automatically.
Usually on the website. So here's the thing. Airlines will usually show you their options first, but if you keep scrolling down, when you click to use miles, you'll usually see their partners. Sometimes you have to call them. If you don't see anything you like, my tip is call the airline and say, can you check availability on partners? And you'd be shocked at what's available sometimes.
I need to take a picture of that with my phone.
I know, right?
So I have that.
This is our cheat
Get a
sheet.
picture of this right now
cell phones and take a
capture
picture
that
of
from
it.
home.
Yeah.
We were these people. A lot of people leave their miles there to expire because they don't know how to really apply
And the thing is, the ecosystem it's a little bit complex, but once you have, credit card you're earning points on, your Amex points you can transfer directly to Delta. So each of these different airlines have different partners, so you kind of got to pick and choose the ones that best align to where you want to go.
Is there an impact point, a time that's better to transfer from cash to points?
Well, no, I mean, in general, the airlines release seats really, it used to be 11 months in advance, so the early bird got the worm. Nowadays, it changes every single day. So my best tip is go online, see how much that trip's going to cost you in cash, and then see how many points it costs. In general, if you're getting, I like to say 2 cents per point in value. So if you can transfer your points to an airline and then get a business class international ticket, you can be getting 4 or 5 or I know Gelman's a points guy. He gets tons of value out of his points.
He's using our points, by the way.
He has under his t-shirt, there's a P tattooed on his chest for points.
Hey, great to see you. Thanks for coming. Good stuff for the holidays. All kinds of good tips. KellyRyan.com for more information. Brian Kelly. Look at that. That is Kim Davis.
She's celebrating her 50th birthday.
Yeah.
She looks amazing.
Empty nester recently, so congratulations.
Yes.
Kelly has thoughts?
All nude all the time.
Great to see you. Happy birthday Monday. Queen Latifah is here.
Yeah, that's right. And Randall Park is also here.
Plus the Crafty Lumberjacks. Have a fantastic weekend, guys.